Hi, welcome back to the space. I'm here back in South East London and I'm really happy to say, by popular demand, we have Trevor Francois back with us. This show's topic is going to be about the OK Society. So, yeah, we're just going to get straight into it. So, Trevor,
Yeah.
OK Society.
Oh.
What does that mean? What does that mean, OK Society?
Okay, society is it's the idea that even though something's really things are not great, you think that they're okay. They're not bad, then they're not good, and they're just okay. And it's. I don't think we kind of necessarily understand what we actually mean when we say okay. We're afraid to say my life's good or my life's bad. We can't say well, it's okay, and then only so it's kind of like putting up with the way that your life is, with no kind of idea why that if I complain too much, people will shut off and won't listen to me.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what I mean? So consequently, people say okay.
Yeah, but isn't that okay?
No, well, it's not.
Isn't that,
Then becomes the way of being. If you continually keep saying it, then you are willing to accept okay all the time. And in a sense, all right, okay. Let me give you an example, okay. In terms of like the sports and stuff like that. There was once upon a time England used to do really well at a lot of stuff. And they were expected to do well and they were expected to win, and they usually did. But all of a sudden, it was like at some point they started to accept mediocrity, and they can actually accept second best. It's okay, it's fine. So you go, it's okay, it's all right to finish there. It's about the taking part. All of a sudden, it's like it's ingrained in people's psyche that life is okay and it's not best to complain or overhype yourself.
And yeah, I understand that because you do get that kind of downwards kind of people look down on Americans who they kind of aspire to win.
Yeah.
So they kind of look at it as being a bit kind of arrogant, a bit egotistical, because you're looking to go out to be the champion.
But my thing is understanding. Okay, you have a life and you're enjoying it and you're living it. It's not okay to have an okay life. You want the best life that you can possibly live. Or else, what is the point of it?
But then isn't that okay that people just? Sometimes everybody can't have the same type of life.
No, everybody can't have the same life, but surely you can aspire to better. Always aspire to better. So okay is not really okay if you want to aspire. Because then you're accepting it that you're not going to get any better. You can aspire, but actually it's self-defeating. You want to aspire to great, but actually you'll settle for mediocrity.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's the kind of stuff that actually be confident. Nothing wrong with being confident. That actually I aspire to that and be confident about it. Without necessarily doesn't have to come across arrogance. Arrogance will be the other person's perception of what you're saying, not your reality. And that's the problem. So people don't really want to upset the other person and don't want to really pick other people's names that are joined. They're not doing it because they don't, but they're doing it to see what other people think of them. It's kind of because they take stock of what other people think of them. So they say it's okay. So they want that person to kind of go, oh, okay, he's all right. He's not too bad. He's like me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than if you say, oh, I want to be this, I want to do that. They'll look at you as if it's like you're thinking above yourself and you're better than me and blah blah blah. So immediately it puts them on the back foot. So people just say okay because it's kind of like it kind of keeps a happy medium.
Well, because we was discussing before. It's I'm going to try not to use okay as much. That is really hard. That also the other word people replace okay was all right, but then that all right is like. Becomes like all right, but actually you're not all right with it. You're not happy with it. No. You're settling for second best. You don't want to cause a problem. You don't want it to be seen as a problem. You don't want to cause an argument, but actually you're dissatisfied However, you just want to close it down.
Yeah,
and then the second part of that is then, all right then, which is then it's a complete shutdown. I've had enough of what you got to say.
Yeah.
I'm not all right with it, but I actually don't want to engage in listening with you.
Exactly, and that's the passive aggressive nature of that statement. It's like just someone goes, and it's usually followed with a gesture of some description. So you know that person is done listening to us. What? And it's like so you know that they're not interested anymore.
They pick up the paper, they turn their shoulder, they walk out the room. Mm-hmm. Some gesture happens. What is clearly indicating that they're not happy. They're not happy. They're not satisfied. Whether either is it with what you've said or what they feel, or they feel that they can't get themselves across, because we were saying that this thing of like actively listening but effectively communicating. So we've got this two-way thing where we actually not really listen to the person.
No, and that's the thing. You're not actually listening to what the person's saying, because you're actually formulating your answer, your response. So you're not actually really listening to them. You've got the processes going on in your head. You're looking at them, but it's like you're almost like disengaged. You've been disengaged from what they're saying. So your response may not be in line with what they're saying now.
And so when they respond back to you again, that's when you kind of like, all right, they're all right. You just want to shut it off because there's not a proper communication flow going on.
It's not happening. It's cross purposes. It's like almost like one step behind all the time. So it's never going to accord with what's going on, and because the other person is not going to. Because what you want to do is initially to make them agree with you with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if you find during the course of that conversation, or because of the cross purposes element, right, they feel that person is not going to go to your way of thinking. You just go, all right then, fine.
So in terms of the word okay, because then in that situation, all right, okay, that's what normally happens.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let's leave it here. With the okay and the all right then, how does that have the wider impact on society as a whole? As an individual, we know that leaves you dissatisfied, you don't get what you want. So, anger, resentment, bitterness starts occurring. But how does that then, that bitterness is now in my life, it's in your anger's in your life. When we talk about as a society, how does this okay, all right thing impact on the wider society?
In terms of kind of attitudes and behaviours on the street, right? Okay, I'm saying okay again, yeah. You say you're sitting on the bus, right? You're sitting on the bus, and there's someone sitting next to you, and they want a pass. They want to get out. Right?
We know that one.
Yeah, they stand up. And they assume, right, okay, that you're going to move because they stood up. They've not communicated to you that they intend to move. And when they do communicate to you, they go, excuse me, or they say, sorry.
Sorry.
They say, sorry.
Sorry is the word we use for everything.
They say sorry, and it's not, and you hear the tone. When you hear the tone of the sorry, it's like you're inconveniencing me. Get out of my way. That's what you hear. That's kind of like, some people think they have to say sorry every time they want to get someone out of the way because it's stopping them from getting where they need to get to. So you're in my way, sorry, you're in my way. It's not like, excuse me please, I'd like to pass. Which is it's much more amenable, it's much more friendly, it's much more open. Whereas sorry, it's kind of like, you're in my way, get out my way. Because that's what you're saying, and that's how usually people will take it.
Yeah, that's the impact the person will feel.
That's what, and so that's how it. So accepting that kind of behaviour is not. It's not okay, actually. So if you just almost like shut it down, if you wait for someone to actually say, you know what, just because you stood up and you said sorry, and say sorry is not it. The word is excuse me. The phrase is excuse me, I would like to pass. So it's a kind of much of the same thing. It's a passive, aggressive, shut down, non-communicative kind of language, really, in a sense. They don't really want to communicate. They're not really communicating anything.
Because they don't really want to communicate.
They don't really want to communicate.
They just expect you to
to get out of the way.
Yeah, to move.
Acquiesce to their needs.
Yeah.
Basically, and so that's the bit. So hence, you will see people just shut down effectively.
Yeah, it's like when you get on the tube, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of like just shut down, and and you're you know, it's really very odd because it's like you're not got no personal space when you're on the tube in a rush hour. No. There isn't no personal space, but even within that non-personal space, people feel they can't use the appropriate language to manoeuvre themselves in and off the tube train system. They still kind of will push.
Yeah.
So for me, what I've started to see, and from what you're saying, is that, you know, within society, and people have noticed that, especially in cities, that it gets quite aggressive.
Yeah.
It creates this tension, this pressure.
And it's unnecessary. It's a kind of a misuse of language. It's a misunderstanding of what actually sorry means, and because it's been passed down societally to people saying sorry. It's not actually sorry you're supposed to be saying. Sorry means when you've done something, or apologise for doing something, but you're not doing anything. So why you need to say sorry? You've not done anything.
So really, it's excuse me or pardon or
exactly.
Could I get a pass or something other than that word sorry. But then because even with the word okay, but what actually does okay mean?
Okay.
What does it mean? It hasn't,
It communicates nothing.
Exactly.
It communicates nothing. Okay communicates nothing. It's just like, okay, so what is that really supposed to mean? It's all right. What is that supposed to mean? You don't. It's not really You don't. So you don't really want to divulge. So what you're saying. You don't really want to divulge anything.
Or commit to anything. You don't want to actually commit to something. Because I know with the times when I've used it in a work environment is because when I don't want to commit to something or actually don't want to do something.
Yeah. I find the same thing. Yes.
So okay, because I'm really like saying.
I just want to shut you down.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. So
I'm gonna just close you down from this conversation. Yeah. So I deliberately use that word.
Yeah.
However, I feel that in this present climate is that people are still using the word. However, they're expressing something else. So like with the change within society with Brexit and now the change within American society with the new president, I think that people are not still saying okay, but the behaviour is actually I don't particularly like you or I don't particularly like this situation. So they're still using the same terminology, but the expression is totally different and the actions are totally different. And even the words what coming out after that is totally different. And I think, I haven't really experienced any kind of aggressive type language towards me. However, you don't have to pick up the paper to, without seeing some sort of aggressive type of engagement people are kind of having based on this thing now of like, I can just say whatever I want. So we've gone through the okays, the sorry, the alright, and that kind of trying not to rock the boat, to people just going to the other extreme as well. Yeah. But both of those things have left, I feel, our present society very tense. Yeah. But not we're not saying it's everywhere. No. You can go to parts of the UK where it probably isn't like that. Right. But when you get concentration of lots of people from different parts of the world, we have different cultural understandings of things. This is what I've started to see, and then what is the impact on when you continuously kind of experiencing or saying these things, then these things I believe these things, the research shows these kind of negative things constantly in your life. Then they start having an impact on the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act, but also on your health.
Yes, and that's the part that people don't seem to understand. It has impact on your health quite naturally because you kind of inwardly you have these the processes going on in your body and the thoughts that you have, poisonous as they may be, because that's what they're going to turn out to be, if you keep reaffirming those ideals and those ideas, it will show up in the way your physical well-being, your mental well-being, and your general health. Your general health will suffer as a consequence, because what you're doing consistently is poisoning yourself with the thoughts and the ideas about other people and what other people are like, and how they should behave, and but by having the thoughts, you're having the thoughts, but your words may not reflect what's going on.
Yeah.
So just because you're saying sorry, you're saying this, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't really cut it. It's what your intent was, and the intent is in here, and that's where the process, that's where it goes on. So that you're poisoning yourself with the thoughts that you're having in relation to that. So you're not. So you're saying excuse. You're saying sorry. Actually, you're saying out my way.
Yeah.
Right, is what you're saying. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to know you. Get out my way. And so you're putting that stuff into yourself. So of course you're going to make it. You're going to make yourself ill. You are going to make yourself ill. It's your thoughts are chemicals. Your ideas, what you think is important, actually, to your physical well-being. So having positive thoughts won't just cut it. Right? It's your actions that denote. Right? Your actions have to reflect your thoughts.
And you also that, they say thought, word and deed.
Yeah,
so,
always.
If you're negative in any of those three, it's going to have an impact on you.
Yes.
So, if you think good things, but you say bad things or negative things, that's going to impact you. If you act in a good way, but you think about people in a negative, destructive way, that's going to impact you. So it's the thought, word and deed. It's like, what we're striving to is to have those three balanced.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not perfect, but however, if we're constantly in one of those three areas thinking negatively about every situation we're in and every person we meet, that's slowly impacting in our lives.
Yeah.
There is medical research being done on how this, which we'll probably go in another video and talk about more in depth, but how that, when we're feeling angry, we're feeling anxious, that actually has a physical impact on our life. And particular organs in our body are impacted by that. So this society, we don't want to rock the boat. Actually, we're turning the boat inside of us upside down.
Yeah.
It's causing a lot of internal damage.
That's exactly what.
And they say that people who have cancer or people who are more happy and positive are more likely to recover.
Yeah.
And so, really, I believe health. If you've got a healthy attitude generally towards life, will be beneficial in terms of your recovery.
I think that's important to remember. Kind of in terms of your immune system, it's kind of cancer. As to give an example, that you just go, cancer is naturally occurring in your body, but your immune system is what keeps it at bay. And if you're having consistently negative thoughts and ideas, you're kind of proliferating, allowing the cancer to grow. You're not feeding it with any positive kind of chemical production. So it's going to have an impact.
Yeah.
It's going to have an impact. So the cancer will grow. If you're feeding it constant poison, it's going to feed off of it, and it's going to grow and grow and grow.
So your immune system. So was I think it was I can't remember if it was the Daily Mail or Daily Express, and they were saying the diabetes is up by 75%.
Yeah.
And it's that, again, that's a thing what is directly connected with your immune system.
Yeah.
From what you're consuming, with your exercising, how you're just generally looking after yourself.
Yes.
Because, diabetes, depending on obviously what type you have, but it's a lot to do with lifestyle.
Yeah.
As well as, genetics, whether it's in your family. But even if it's in your family, they say it can be counterbalanced if you look at your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And lifestyle, I think people just think about lifestyle, about physical activities, whatever, but it's also about how we think, what we say, how we communicate, because that permeates within society.
Definitely.
So if you're putting out negative kind of words, thoughts and actions within society, that is all, one, it's impacting your life, but it's also impacting on somebody else's life. Like, what do you want to, it's actually like, what do you want to give people every day? What aspect of yourself
So
do you want to give to people every day?
I think that's understanding that your whole kind of existence, it's about learning. You're teaching your body coping mechanisms. That's what you're teaching. So you're constantly learning all the time. So all the stuff that you're feeding, you're learning, and it becomes reliant on those negative. So the negative messages you're giving it, it will take those negative messages and use them and find the best way to kind of like infiltrate and poison your body. That's what happens. And people may think this is a little bit of kind of like I don't know, how do you know that? Well, sometimes I understand it from my perspective in relation to that. I've always had a relatively positive outlook most of my life. And I've not really had any serious health issues, even though diabetes actually is in my family. And so for me, it's kind of, I see it's a direct correlation. It's like you have to have a positive, it doesn't mean like you have to be kind of like, oh, you're always smiling and jolly and happy. No, you have an outlook in relation to how you deal with things that come into your life. How you deal with it, and you're seeing the possibilities that exist, that it can be solved. Glass half full rather than glass half empty. So for me, it's always that. It's always a positive spin. There's always kind of a positive spin on everything. Not to say not blindly. It's not a blind thing, but it's something that actually you understand that it's about feeding yourself and feeding your surroundings. By virtue of feeding yourself, you're feeding your surroundings with your energy and how you are, because it affects the people around you. It directly impacts the people around you, because that's how human beings work. We work off of each other. We don't work in isolation. It's like what's that poem, that John Donne poem? No man is an island.
Yes.
No one is an island. You're not.
I think people do feel that at times they want to. You know what I mean? Want to have their own kind of island on themselves, but as human beings, that's not how we grow. We don't develop in that kind of way.
We don't develop in that way at all. We believe that we're alone and we're solo. No, you can't. You have to work with people. You have to be with people. You try to be in total isolation by yourself for any length of time with no visual stimulus anywhere. No visual stimulus anywhere. Like being locked in solitary confinement in a prison. Lock yourself away. You'll be bashing your head against the wall because you have all this. Your brain is still working. There's still stuff being processed in your head, and if you've got nothing to take away from that to kind of convince you that that's different, and that's going to be different, your brain is going to put this thing on a loop. It's like having the worst song in the world going round and round, a song that you hate going round and round all the time. It's the same thing, and you're going to come to believe what's going on in there. So you need the stimulus of external stimulus of people and an environment to make you make sense of the world.
Yeah. So without that, it's actually impossible for us to survive.
You can't live. You can't live. You can't exist like in isolation. Nobody can. Seriously.
So yes, we're here in the space. So before we finish this topic, just want to cover maybe a couple of points on what we can do to actually stop ourselves kind of automatically using these words that actually don't represent how we feel. Trevor, so in terms of kind of bring it back to the subject, okay society, so what can we do to not continue to use these okay, alright, I'm sorry, these words that actually they're not expressed? How do we start kind of changing that, using alternative words? How do we begin?
It starts right. Basically, stop yourself. If somebody asks you something or say something, how are you? Stop. Actually, really consider what they've just said.
So really listen.
Really listen. Consider what they said, and then listen to yourself. Listen to how do I feel? I don't know is a good answer. It's an answer, and that's an answer.
Yeah. That's an honest answer.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. That's an honest answer, and it's about the honesty and integrity in relation to your life, and people will accept that. It's an answer. Okay is not an answer.
And if they don't accept it,
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine if they don't accept it, but that's.
But your honesty about yourself is effectively communicating how you feel.
Yeah.
It's effectively transmitting to someone, this is where I'm at. I don't know how I feel.
No.
Or I feel great. I'm feeling okay to say that you feel great.
Yeah. Feeling good, and don't feeling that you have to justify saying it. That actually you're saying that I'm saying something, and that person might be upset. That, unfortunately, is not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm actually expressing something. I'm communicating to you. You requested something of me. I'm giving you a response. If you don't like the response, that's not my issue.
Exactly.
You see, if you didn't want that response, don't ask me the question.
Yeah. And I think we need to get to that point now in society so that we could start breaking these cycles of not expressing ourselves clearly and then have all this pent up things.
Yeah.
So this, by doing this, listeners, that we can actually become happier. These small little gestures of, don't say sorry, say excuse me.
Yeah.
If you're upset with someone, say I'm upset with you, or I don't actually like what you just said.
Yeah.
Say what you mean. And I think this is the best way for us to start changing this society of not rocking the boat and just keep everything like nice and calm. The sea cleans itself and works by creating waves. It doesn't work by keeping still water. Still water, that means the water is clean. Still waters usually indicate there's the water is murky and there's dirt in it.
There's nothing breathing in it.
There's nothing nothing living in it. It's like a swamp. So it's, and you only get certain type of things when you live in a swamp. And the alligators are big teeth. So that's not what we want.
No.
We want to be like the sea where we constantly ebb and flow, and there's a cleansing process always happening.
And I think that's really important. And in terms of people's kind of engagement with each other, dialogue is because if you're generally concerned about someone, that opens up possibility of dialogue with the individual and communication, and so you learn something about a fellow human being, and they learn something about you, and so you get to better understand. So you feel much more confident in relation to your experience of the world as a whole. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's about us really kind of being honest, not only with ourselves, but with the people around us. Yeah.
On that note, thank you very much, Trevor.
Thank you very much.
So yes, I hope you enjoyed our talk. So be wise, be confident, and be different. And we look forward to coming back with another topic. And have an amazing month. Take care. Bye for now.